Hello and welcome to SJB's Super Mega Easy Chimp Strategies. Today we're going to show you guys 5 different chimp strats and kind of go over them and how they work. Starting off with number 1, we're going to be doing an engineer dart start into an Etienne play. We're going to do a camo-less strategy, so we're going to use things that normally don't see camos automatically, would normally need a village or different combinations of stuff. Instead, we're going to be using Etienne and using all of their power instead to get things going in here. Like we said, once you get the money, get Etienne somewhere nearer to the back of the map because he pops Bloons a little better as a cleanup tower rather than an actual tower here. But you don't need to be in range of anything, you just put him anywhere and everybody will eventually get that cam detection. As you start to make some money, start buying Top Path Engineer, and eventually we're going to get a Sentry Expert. Get a Sentry Expert before round 28. Soon we're going to need something for the Moab, so start buying your Tack Shooter. We're going to go for a Bottom Path Overdrive and of course the even faster shooting. I always like to alch him whenever I get him, so we're going to also buff him with a nice little alch here. Go for a full-on stronger stim as soon as we get the money for it. I really like this strategy because you don't always want to put towers next to each other and have to give them cam protection with some sort of village, so this allows you to space them out if you want to. Just because we're taking it kind of easy on ourselves here on Monkey Meadow, we should just get a village here anyways, but we're not going to. We're going to let Etienne do all of the cam protection for the rest of the game here, and of course just make sure that the attack zone actually does our real damage. So our combo is going to be attack zone to pop most of the Moab class Bloons, and then a Sentry Champion to pop the Moab class Bloons a little bit, with of course cleaning up all the Bloons on the inside. And then of course we're going to have to do something else for the late game, which I'll show you guys in just a second. Looks like we had attack zone by around 52, and if you guys know anything about the attack zone, it is a very powerful early game tower. It will easily carry us through round 80 without just about any other issues here, especially when we got Etienne almost up to level 10 here, so if we have any emergencies, we can always press those abilities. Other than that, though, let's keep it flowing. 63 should go down breezy, but if you have any trouble, just make sure you cabin it up or droning it up to help yourself out a little bit. Look at that, we get a Sentry Champ by round 73. Definitely want to support him with a mid-path combo to make sure we're popping Moabs easily for the rest of the game. And don't forget, again, this combo works because we get cam protection from this guy, cam protection from this guy. Of course, we can alch them both a little bit here, but the main thing is these guys are just a fantastic combo. In case you're curious how 80 plus is looking, pretty gosh darn good if I say so myself. And then we get a permacharge, so get a middle path all the way up to 5th tier, but cross path it with the bottom path here, so you get the red hot rings, and you're going to be way more powerful and also be able to pop PVTs with the automatic cam detection. I am a fairly large fan of showing off the last 3 rounds because of course they're the most difficult, and you still probably want to use your abilities. You know, I mean, like, no matter how good you're doing, even if you have $50,000 here or whatever, you're probably going to want to use your abilities, so just do it. Round 98 in particular is going to be a little tougher for us because the Bloons themselves are probably our biggest weakness. But 99 shouldn't be that bad, and then round 100 shouldn't be that bad either because we've got a pretty good amount of bad popping power, actually, with the attack zone in particular. You can see this guy just rocketing up over here. It gets like 6,000-7,000 pops out of that thing right from the get-go. Then when we want to kill the DDTs, we of course use the permacharge here, finish it all off, and we take it down. Nice, easy chimp strat with 60k left over. Next up, we got the Water Fiesta Brickle strategy. In this one, I want you to do a Buccaneer start, probably with a Dart Monkey, if you can't pull it off without. And then you're probably going to want to put your Buccaneer on Laster to make sure you're shooting down straight lines as much as possible. It just makes it a little more efficient overall. We're going to go for a double dipping of Buccaneers really quickly and try to get a Brickle right after that. When Brickle's up, put her down. You do want to put her in range of your Water Monkeys, though, because she does have a range limitation on some of her abilities. You're probably going to want to get a cannon chip pretty quick because it's just uber mega powerful, especially in the front of the map here, so yeah, make that happen. First camo Bloon, even though it seems like a waste of money, I really don't mind spending the money on the dart so I can get some good long-term strategies going instead of accidentally spending the stupid money on this guy to make him worse long-term. Definitely seems like a stupid cleanup tower, but crossbow is still pretty good against these camo Bloons. And you can get a Monkey Pirates pretty early here and make the Moab easy work. Let's get our other Buccaneer going. We're going to go for a cleanup-ish tower. We're going to go for Destroyer, and of course, I'm still not thinking about camo Bloons. I'm going to go Grape Shot. I'm going to go Hot Shot. Brickle still got some cam detection. We still got some cleanup cam detection in the back here, but we're going to fix that in just a sec. I just do not feel bad at all about this. We're going to go for our quick Bloon Turning Reactor, and then I like the middle path combo just a little bit better. So we don't keep tip darts. Keep them submerged for the rest of the game. Don't even touch them. If you're getting an aircraft carrier, you're probably going to want to buff them, so I'm a pretty big fan. Just get the alch flowing. We're going to go for a quick 4-2 alch. And then also in addition, don't feel bad about it. We're going to go for a quick village on top of these guys. And we're going to make sure we've got at the very least our jungle drums flowing. 63 is always a toughie, but it shouldn't be too bad here. You got some abilities flowing. So we're going to go for our last ability here just to clean up the last set. and that's going to warp us into the mid-game. Feels kind of late, but carrier flagship's ready to go. At this point, things can get a little bit wonky, but what I'm going to recommend is that you get a Sky Shredder. This guy's really solid. He's amazing in pretty much every way. He's got no direct, like, amazing weaknesses. But one thing you have to understand about this strategy that makes this work really, really well is that the Sky Shredder and the carrier flagship work well together. The flagship is going to buff the Shredder, which is awesome because Brickle is buffing the flagship, and the flagship is buffing the Sky Shredder, so it just ends up working as a really nice combo together. Plus, without having that many weaknesses here, we kind of just mow down the big Bloons here. DDTs aren't an issue, Mobs aren't an issue, Bloons aren't really an issue. Like, do we have a weakness? Not really. But I will still recommend it, unfortunately. You should probably, against DDTs, no matter what, just use this ability. It's better to be safe than sorry. You're not going to regret it because you're just going to be like, whoa, I didn't even see the DDTs at around 93. They popped out for like 1 second there. One quick ability that comes back quite quickly, I might add, is enough to take it down, no problem here at all. Now, we've already got a lot of water buffs here, but why not take it a step further? Let's get the Pirate Lord too. It's a little bit of extra cash flow going in here, but we can use this guy to insta-kill any Bloons that we want to every once in a while. Plus, he does a really good amount of damage right in the front of the map. Again, don't feel bad about using your abilities on top TT rounds. It's a thing. The main one is the Breakable ability. It's all you really got to use in most situations, but just keep in mind that you don't have it come back every single round automatically. You will have to time that just a little bit. Here's, of course, where things get tricky. What I'm going to recommend is you always use this ability right from the get-go here because, you know, you're going to be way, way happier if you do it a little too early than a little bit too late. You'd really like to not have this guy go away by the time you get to round 100. So we're going to go for a couple insta-kills in here as well. We can use some extra abilities from Brickle. We've got to clean up some Bloons in the backpack here. And what I want you guys to do is just watch this thing. Make sure it does come back before round 99. Otherwise, you can get screwed a little bit. Once you get to round 100 here, make sure you're using your Mega Mine. That's what it's called, right? We're going to use our Mega Mine here to clean this guy up. And then don't forget about all your other abilities, man. There's nothing wrong with them. Just click those buttons. You'll be way, way happier. DDTs are going to be kind of tricky back here, but we take them down pretty easily. We can clean up his Oh My God, and then the last little bit of Bloons in here, we clean them up without needing to use anything. Tough-ish round 100, but everything else goes down so smooth. It's just a nice strat. You guys had to know it was coming, right? I mean, it is one of the best strategies in the game, and by far one of the easiest strategies in the game. I'm talking about the Ninja Adora strategy combo. So this is gonna be a little bit different depending on how easy your map is. If you have a fairly easy starting map like this one, where the ninja can really get the max pop power out of it, just do a ninja until you can get an Adora. If you need to, though, feel free to get a ninja discipline or seeking shuriken or whatever you need to kind of like actually get started up in here. And we get our Adora on round 12, and I don't want to say the cycle is complete, but gosh darn it, does it feel good to have this already. I actually find it a little bit funny that we're able to save up over $5,000 with just that start. It's a 1-0 ninja with an Adora combo, and things are still going pretty well at this point. But we're not going to push our luck here. We're just going to go straight into that Bloon Jitsu. I'm going to get the Seeking Shuriken and the Caltrops combo, and then we're going to also get our third tower here, which is the main aspect of the combo, which is the Elk here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get this Elk up to 4-2 as well, and what I like to do with my Elk is always put them closer to Adora than the Ninja, because the Ninja is better right now, but Adora will be better long-term as she levels up, gets stronger and everything. So, always go like this, and then upgrade as soon as you can up to 4-2 Elk, and that is, believe it or not, enough Moab popping power. And general Bloon pop power probably till about around 43 to 49 without any other issues, which is kind of wild. And this strategy will automatically beat every single Bloon up until around 59, and then once we get to around 59, if we get a village next to this hero here, boom, we got Camel Lead popping power. If not, we're relying on randomly getting a 2-0 Elk to throw on top of this guy to get the acidic mixture dip to pop the lead balloons. It can happen, but it's a little more of a maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't happen kind of thing. So to confirm that it's going to happen, we have to get a village next to these guys, which I can't do on this map, which is kind of unfortunate. Like, you just can't just throw it down there. I think you can throw it down here, but it's still not in range. So what we're going to have to do is instead, we are going to build a nice tower. We're going to throw it down on the very bottom down here. You know, I'm going to throw it down over here. I lied. Throw it down over on the side here. And we're going to go for our quick Snowstorm. I'm also going to go for the larger radius so I can get this guy just a little bit closer here. And then we're going to throw down our village in the middle of the pond. So I'm going to throw it actually a little bit closer to the side here just so I can fit more stuff if I need to right in the middle. And of course, I'm going to go for my 2-2 village. Now, this is the strategy. This is the combo. It's a wombo combo. It's an absolute destruction style strat. I want to show you guys around 49, around 50 because it's still one of my favorite strategies in the entire game. And I like to spend a little bit of time on it just to show people how easy it works. So check it out. Moab goes down easily, like not any issues at all. Of course, the Bloons are going to die as well because Adora's getting buffed, bro. And the Ninja's getting buffed too. If you're looking at pop power, though, who's actually doing most of the work right now? Believe it or not, it's still the Ninja. 25,000 pops compared to Adora's only 8,000. Could be a little bit, you know, because he's closer, but it's also because Adora is slowly getting stronger and stronger over time, and the Ninja's kind of just already as strong as he's going to be. So the reason why I like this strat again so much is because look at the money. We've got about 40k saved up by 67. Of course, we can spend it on anything we want, but today, what I want to do is I want to go for a somewhat weird strategy. I'm going to go for my Super Monkey in the middle of the map. I'm going to go for a quick Tech Terror, and I'm going to try to save up for an anti-balloon. I know it seems kind of wild, but it does just kind of work well on this map because we get to hit stuff up here, all the way around, and then still hit things as we're trying to leave from the bottom down here as well, which is pretty insane. In addition, the Ice Tower here can kind of slow things down right next to us as far as Bloons are concerned, but really get everything kind of combined into one delicious little platter. Plus, it's nice to keep the tower choice down to a minimum if you're going for easy strategies, right? I'll be the first person to admit it. This strategy is not foolproof. You may need to use some abilities here and there, but we have a lot of them to pick from, believe it or not. One of the coolest ones, though, is that Tech Terror can just go and just kill a lot of stuff around us. It's probably the coolest part of it. But Adora also has some abilities to use as well. If you ever run into any issues, she can clean up a lot of Bloons over here with her regular abilities. And of course, they have these big Bloons. You want to use the Ball of Light on. And if you need to slow things down, we already have the Ice Tower available. Don't forget about that. So definitely use it. And here's the coolest part of the entire strategy about to unfold. When you get all your stuff going in here, you just need a little tiny bit more money. You go, whoop, you get enough money for an anti-balloon. Now, please keep in mind that I did try to get the anti-balloon a little bit quicker by not getting the cross paths. You can decide which cross path works better for you. Personally, I'm a bigger fan of the overall popping power, but to be honest, it doesn't really matter much. As long as you have the camera protection from the village, you don't really need the bottom path. So it's pretty much over at this point, though. If you have an anti-balloon, you're probably not going to lose the game, right? All right, we didn't show off any of the cool parts, 97, 98, 99, or 100, which is pretty easy. Didn't even have to micro at this point. No abilities required. And the anti-balloon, believe it or not, did have the most pops still. So that definitely makes things a little more interesting. Adora only 337, Ninja 319, though very close together, believe it or not. And then a lot more than that. Next up, we got the Mega Slowdown Strats. What you're going to want to do is pick up Big Bad Pat Fusty and put him somewhere near the front-ish of the map. Doesn't have to be perfect here. And we're just going to try to get a bunch of stuff that slows down the Moab class Bloons in the front, and then, of course, slows down the Bloons somewhere near the middle, and then we annihilate. The only issue with this strategy is, of course, making sure you can pop a bad balloon, so sometimes it's good to go for a first strike, but it's, of course, not required at all. So the main thing right now is just to get a fast-throwing boomerang with Pat Fusty, and I personally, with this strategy, still like to do a weird cleanup tower like a Spike Factory or something, but it is completely unnecessary if you do it right. For cam detection, we're going to get something a little bit goofy here. We're going to be going for an IFR heli, and it's only because we're going to be going for a bottom path heli eventually. And then we're going to focus on getting our Kylie Boomerang going, which is going to be our main popper, believe it or not, for a majority of the game. Wrap them up in a village, bro. Why not? You can get some easy, full-on cam protection for the rest of the game. You can get some quick jungle drums action to buff them all. And you can get a lot of towers right next to each other as well. If you're not building village most games, just learn from your mistakes and realize it's stupid. That being said, I still want to go for my Moab press first, and I still want to try to get my Moab shove actually pretty early game here as well. So this is like literally the perfect Moab defense. We got Pat to smack it back, we got the heli pilot to shove it back, we got the boomerang to send it back. It doesn't have any issues whatsoever, so of course, we need to start thinking about what we're going to do for Bloons, not for Moabs, because we're not dealing with that many Moabs around round 41 to 50, right? So, of course, more stunning. We're going to go for a Bloon Impact, and personally, I'm a bigger fan of the middle combo. I know some people like the bottom, but we're going to do that, and we're also going to go for an Ice Tower here in range of the village. Kind of important here. Kind of a goofy-looking spot. You know, it doesn't seem like it makes perfect sense, but I like it because I can still reach with my cannon, my boomerang, and it's still in range of the village here. And then if I want to, even crazier later, I could get rid of this and put a land tower here, but I don't think that's going to be a thing. Alright, I just went for it. Snowstorm. I'm going to go for the larger radius and refreeze here as well. And then, believe it or not, I think the best combo for us is to start going Comanche Defense, Comanche Commander. The only weird thing about this guy is that I'm currently locking him in place, which is kind of weird for a heli, because I don't have Pursuit on him, and I don't feel like microing. So, just keep that in mind. Alright, it looks like we are easily able to save up over 40 grand without much micro. Just a little bit here on 75 and 76. And then we Comanche Commander it. Boom, boom. Now, he's still locked in place, and I think we can leave him locked in place for most of the game here, but probably near the end of the game, we're going to have to micro him a little bit, maybe around DDTs as well. So, at this point, one thing I definitely recommend is, we don't have it yet, we're going to junk drums, we're going to primary training, and we're going to primary mentoring, because we have 3 different towers in range here that can all be buffed by that. So, yeah. One other tower you're going to almost always going to want to add to the mix is going to be a glue gunner. Alright, this guy's going to slow it all down, keep it all on the screen, and of course, be your DDT destroyer. Kind of still feeling the glue splatter on this guy, so that's what we're going to do, and check it out. We go from DDTs being, pretty troublesome here to just, like, no. No, they just go down. They die. Plus, it is helpful when we have the primary mentoring. Just gives them that much more range and attack speed and everything. And look at this. Round 94 is in the front of the map right now. Just getting splattered, exploded, stunned, and stalled, and destroyed all at once. It's kind of beautiful to watch. One minor issue with this strategy is you can actually stall too much, and it can take a little while to pop some balloons, especially if you don't have a bunch of pop power in the front. So if you ever need to front load some pop power, that's totally possible. One other tower that I'm going to recommend here, just because we have the primary training in general, primary mentoring, and all that junk here, so we're going to add in one good Moab popper that's also going to be an amazing bad popper, the Moab Eliminator. I'm a big fan of the extra range and frag bumps, just because if you look at the range over here, it's actually pretty wild. And you can see it's the total and epic destruction right in the middle of the map, right next to Pat Fusty. He's not even doing that much pops, but he's stalling things and slowing them down and keeping them in a range for us to destroy easily. Alright, those make this look like we are rock stars here. You will need to use the Moab Eliminator for sure around 100. If not, there is one other strategy you could do, which is probably just build a bunch of subs with first strikes. Alright, there's nothing wrong with getting first strikes over here, but again, it's kind of like a, I don't call it a waste of money, but like it's not going to help against anything else but the bad. But the Moab Eliminator can help you out against a lot of stuff. Any which way, looks good. Strategy rocked it pretty hard, and guess who the master of disaster here was? It was the Comanche Commander, without even any alk or anything. 1.2 million pops. Our last strategy is going to be a little bit odder, but that makes it a little bit more fun. We're going to be using an Azili Tack Shooter Wizard combo to get this all rolling in here. And of course, getting a Tack Shooter Wizard start to actually work here is not easy, but also not impossible. Like, you can definitely make it happen here without too many issues. And we're going to go for a very quick top path Tack Shooter up to even faster shooting here. And believe it or not, we can clean up a lot of balloons for a really long time. Alright, it's looking good. We get our unpopped army here for round 33, and this is quite delicious. Now, I'm going to move him actually to the front of the map here instead of in the back of the map. No, I'm going to move it, yeah, that's where we're going to just leave it for now. Because, you know what? Let's just freaking leave him right here. I guess that's good. That's totally fine. Wherever he wants to throw from is totally cool. So I want to make sure that I'm popping as many things inside of my range right here. That's kind of the most important thing. Alright, next thing we're going to do, pop some balloons. We're going to get a Ring of Fire. Now keep in mind that this is an even more taxed Ring of Fire, so our range is admittedly quite small at this point. Now the reason why this strategy actually works quite well is that Azili is actually a pretty decent Moab popper. Once she reaches level 8, which is not for the first Moab, but for all subsequent Moabs, she actually does damage to them, like significant amounts of damage to her with her regular shot. You can see it just go whoosh and fly up there as she's hitting those Moabs. In addition, the Ring of Fire is pretty much the best balloon popper you can get early game when you have a decent area to put it. And then, of course, I mean, Moab glue, slow it all down, keep it kind of next to us here. And that allows us to get a full-on Prince of Darkness fairly early on in the game, which is kind of crazy, believe it or not. But what's even crazier is that Azili makes these more powerful. So when she reaches level 11, she's going to be buffing this pod for the rest of the game. Kind of absurd. So even on these tougher rounds at this point, we've got Azili to do the Moab damage, Moab to slow it all down, pod cleans up anything that's even remotely close to getting through our defense here, and even 75, 76, and these somewhat tougher rounds go down like super mega easy. The only slight issue is in some maps, you might not be getting the full graveyard going the entire time. the entire time. You do need to make sure you pop things in the range over here, and if this runs out, I mean, this is our main popper, so you need to just be careful with how and where you're popping things. If they're not in the right spot, you're going to have to adjust where they're starting off or where they're going. Well, you guys know the drill, right? I mean, frickin' Inferno Ring, baby! So we've got some... This is just weird, because Inferno Ring, its weakness is really purple Bloons. Azili, its weakness is really purple Bloons. And normally, the Wizard, his weakness is purple Bloons, but not in this situation. Prince of Darkness owns purple Bloons. So we have no direct weakness. Now, I think that we all know at this point that we have something we always do here. We always wrap everything up in a village if we can. And I think we're going to go up to a primary mentoring just to make this guy stronger and this guy stronger. And at this point, let's slow it down just a little bit more with this combo. Now, at this point, we really only have to worry about one thing in totality. That is, again, the bad balloon. We build a strategy that beats everything, but sometimes that strategy that beats everything doesn't beat one thing, the bad balloon. So we have to figure out how we're going to pop it and what we're going to do. In most situations, I recommend getting, again, either a mobile imp or a first strike, whatever you're feeling at the time. As long as you have the DDD popping power necessary to pop all the stuff, you probably don't need to go first strike. And if you don't have the money necessary, you probably can't get preemptive strike because it's like $45,000 total. But again, a possibility for yourself. Just think about what you want to get and how you want to get it. But in this situation, I'm going to go for something a little bit different as long as I can afford it, which I have not done the math on yet. I think I'm going to go for either a carpet of spikes or just a couple spike storms. So of course, let's check out them DDTs and see how we do. Inferno Ring technically shouldn't do a great job against them, but still magically does. And then Pod is able to clean up no problem at all. So DDTs are not going to be a mega issue for us, which is something that you might want to build if you needed something that you might want to get a carpet of spikes for. But again, not really necessary. To be honest, Mobile Limited is probably our answer. But I'm going to get carpet of spikes anyways if I can afford it. Oh yeah, look at that timing. Carpet of spikes by 97. We can buy the bigger stacks and the wet hot spikes. Ready for 98. And we cannot lose this game. Now, I should point out that Azili is normally a fairly good bad popper if you get her to level 20. She can solo it. One of the only heroes that can do that in the entire game. But she's not going to make it to level 20 on most maps without an Energizer, so you're kind of stuck with what you got right now, which is just kind of a rockstar everything across the board. And you can definitely use her to pop the balloons to the inside, but not anything else. But there it is, a nice, easy, awesome strategy for you. Pod, Azili, Inferno Ring combo. If you guys enjoyed, press that like button, subscribe, and of course have a super duper delicious day.